A new CDC-led report co-authored by the New York State Department of Health showing the effectiveness of lowering RSV hospitalization in infants and children immunized against the virus.
Joining us live in the studio, someone who has worked so many years on this very thing, Upstate's Dr. Joe Domachowski. Joe, it's always good to see you. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We know how hard you've worked on it. We've talked about all that work. When you see the data start to come in, after working so hard on this, what's your feeling? What's your reaction when you see these?
You know, it's remarkable. It's local, it's regional, it's across the U.S. And now I'm hearing about how the most recent adopters, those early adopter countries, are seeing exactly the same thing. It's working everywhere where it's being implemented. It's amazing.
Which is amazing. What did this report actually look at as, you know, a frame of reference that shows the protection and why it's so effective?
Yeah, so the CDC looks at surveillance across the U.S., including New York State. We're one of the surveillance sites. And they look at babies that are hospitalized or have a medically attended respiratory lower tract illness, pneumonia, or what we refer to as bronchiolitis. And what they do is they test them, and if they have RSV, that's a case. If they have something else or nothing's detected, that's a control. And they look at efficacy and effectiveness that way with rates in the high 80%. It's amazing.
And you're comparing like this past season to several past years, or kind of what's that? What are we comparing it to?
Comparing it mostly pre-COVID because, you know, with all the non-pharmacologic protections that we had in place to prevent COVID transmission, we didn't see much RSV during that year and a half. So we're comparing it to those 3 to 5 years before COVID.
Okay, so first season the RSV vaccine is given to pregnant women, and it's a monoclonal antibody, as you've instructed me. That's like an immunization that's given directly to the infants. First time they've been available. What's been the uptake? How many people have actually gotten these treatments?
Yes, we have a birth cohort in the U.S. of about 3.6 million. About half of those babies got nirsevimab, the extended half-life monoclonal, and about 20% of them were born to mothers who got the vaccine, which is an adult formulation of the vaccine. So about 70% overall of the newborn cohort in the U.S. last season were protected.
Right. And what did you learn from the first season that we can use going forward for the next two groups?
Well, as always, education is so important. New parents in particular, they're going to be hesitant, right? They want to know what this stuff is. We're going to immunize their babies in the hospital during the birth hospitalization before they go home, or enter the community where RSV is circulating in the cold and flu months. So education of families, parents, and providers. How is it going to be paid for? Who pays for it? And how do we implement this for all infants?
Gotcha, gotcha. What are you studying now in terms of RSV? Because I'm sure you're happy with this success, but I know you and other doctors like you, you're always looking for that next thing. What is it?
We have the tools for all infant protection, that is up to 1 year of age. That gap between 1 and 5 years of age, we need a vaccine. And with the new progress in adults, with 3 different formulations of RSV vaccines, safe and effective for people in their older years, in their 7th and 8th decade, we now know sort of the path to take to work back toward those 1 to 5-year-olds. So we can protect them with antibody during that first season, and then hopefully vaccinate them so they're protected during those first several years of life.
Any prediction on how soon that would be to develop that kind of a vaccine?
No, I used to tell people 5 to 10 years when we had nothing, but now we know how to do this. So I would say probably 3 years, and we're going to have it. Yeah.
Okay. Really maybe last one. I'm told we can get one more question in. I always love to get more info out there. You did mention that there is a vaccine for older people. So at what age and who should be getting it? Everybody at that age and higher? Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, so RSV disproportionately causes severe illness in the very young and in the very old. So 70 people 75 and older routinely should receive a single dose of this vaccine. And between 60 and 75 years of age, if you have heart or lung disease or other comorbidities, it's important to talk to your doc to get vaccinated as well, because those are the folks that end up in the hospital and even die from RSV.
That's where the education comes in.
Exactly.
And that's why you're here tonight.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Tom.
My pleasure.
Joe, thanks very much. Really appreciate it.